Welcome back to Mountain Connections. From Elmo to cheese to now retirement. We're covering all the topics right here this morning. But right now we're going to focus on COVID and how that's impacting retirement. Many individuals are being set back financially for many reasons throughout the pandemic, and retirement is a top concern. There's also inflation to worry about. So Rita Assaf is here to tell us all about what we can do right now. Rita, how are you today? Thanks for being here.
Doing great, and thank you for having me.
So as we move into a different phase of this pandemic, things are changing. What do we need to be concerned about right now as far as retirement?
Well, the biggest concern that we found with retirement investors is the impact of inflation on savings. Even worse, almost 1 in 3 say they have no idea how to keep their retirement savings up. That said, 80% of Americans are still confident that they'll be able to retire how and when they want. However, a quarter are actually less confident now than they were at the start of the pandemic, which is a big drop from just a year ago. The good news is that our study showed having a retirement plan in place aligned to your specific goals is a solid way to weather any storm.
There are so many negative consequences, especially financially, when we are thinking about retirement in the past couple of years. But there's also been some positive consequences due to what has happened throughout the pandemic. Tell me more about that.
For the past 2 years, many Americans established some healthy habits, such as paying down debt, contributing money to savings, and establishing or revising a budget. However, no matter your age, the biggest challenges that we see for retirement savings include inertia and cashing out too quickly. And in fact, our study found some interesting generational differences towards retirement. For those under 35, almost half did not see the point in saving for retirement until things returned to normal. And for those who left the job during the Great Resignation, 20% cashed out of their 401k, which can have a potential long-term negative impact. And while we completely understand these are challenging times, it's really important for these young investors to look at the big picture and start saving as early as possible, since you have the power of time and compound interest on your side. We also saw something interesting with Gen Xers. They were less optimistic about their retirement, and unfortunately, were even the least likely to have given thought about when to retire. And that's scary, considering the oldest are 5 years away from retiring.
And you mentioned planning is very important. I think we all realize that. But one thing that you want to especially point out is how much planning impacts our confidence levels.
Yeah, across the board, our study found that those with a retirement plan in place to reach their personal goals had greater peace of mind and greater sense of control over their financial well-being. Simple steps like setting up a goal or sitting down with a partner or an advisor can just make you feel more relaxed about your financial well-being.
And what else can we do to make sure that we feel confident, especially in having the funds that we hope and think that we'll need in retirement?
Well, here are some 3 action steps that you can take that would have a big impact on your retirement readiness. 1, save as much as you can. Fidelity recommends saving 15% of your income, which includes your company match if you have access to one through a 401k. 2, don't forget about the tax filing deadline. With that deadline approaching, and if you're able to, consider contributing a portion to an IRA. A $6,000 contribution today has the potential to grow to over $65,000 after 35 years. It's also a great way to make up for lost contributions. And finally, you want to make sure to review your asset allocation. You want to make sure that your money works for you and has a right mix of stocks, bonds, and cash based on how far you are from retirement and your comfort risk level. This is also a great way to protect against inflation.
Where can we find more information and also check our retirement score and see where we stand?
You can visit fidelity.com/planning.
Thank you so much, Rita, for joining us today. I really appreciate your time with us and this information about COVID and retirement. We'll be back right here on Mountain Connections right after this.